secret institutions. Bedroom eyes, they call them in a bygone day. They're the eyes of a man whose lust knows no bounds, who lives but for corrupting others.
Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to Horny Creek. My name is Mark. With me as always is my wife Carol. How you doing today, Carol?
Hey, what's up?
Not much. It's been a good week here. It is October 28th, 1999, and we are taking part in an Indian summer.
We are, but I got to say a quick happy almost birthday, Mark.
Oh, thank you.
One more day.
One more day and one more year older.
How does it feel?
It feels like this age would feel.
Exactly.
To most people. No, it feels fine. I tend to not really think or make a big deal about my birthday. My birthday was never a big deal when I was a kid, so
That's so sad.
it's just not a thing, really.
Well, it's a thing to me.
I know. And
'Cause
I appreciate
You are my
it.
favorite person, so of course I need to celebrate you.
Oh, wow. And you're our favorite audience. The audience that listens to Horny Creek is our favorite audience. The subset of listeners that, because these the main show I think has the most listeners, and then after that I think it's 90210, and then I think it's this show, and then Buffy.
Wow.
This show and Buffy I think this show and Buffy share an audience almost 100%.
Well, I think they share an audience on WB.
Whoa, cats are biting.
What the hell, kitty?
He's playing with my foot.
Well, stop playing with him with your feet, because then he thinks he can play with my feet.
I know your foot got tangled into it.
Not okay. Not okay. Anyway.
Do you think the term Indian summer is offensive?
No, did you?
I don't know. It's kind of like, because Indians,
Okay. I mean, I hadn't really thought about it. Sorry if we offended anybody, but it's Dawson Creek's title, so.
Yeah, it is Dawson's Creek title.
Yeah. Shut up.
Anyway.
Ow! What?
All right, stop it.
Out of here.
Enough, cats.
Get out.
This has been the best thing for our show, is to have cats that break into the room and try to bite us while we're recording. We're trying to entertain people.
I didn't even know cats were ankle biters. I thought that was a dog thing. You are not a chihuahua.
Yeah, get out of here. Go find a chihuahua to terrorize. Anyway,
Dawson's Creek.
We watched Dawson's Creek, everyone, while cats bit us.
So this episode, I think, started in Dawson's room. Like, we've gone back to that.
It does start in Dawson's room, by Dawson's window, where Dawson's looking at Jen's house,
Oh.
where there's a light in Jen's window.
I thought him and Pacey were watching something together first.
That's true, yes. That did happen first.
And they were lamenting about how they had girlfriends and now they don't have girlfriends.
Yeah, well, they're talking about, so I don't remember what movie they were watching. It's an Orson Welles movie. Not one he directed, but one he acted in. Orson Welles. I can't do Orson Welles' voice, but whatever. I'm not even going to try, okay? Sorry.
Okay.
I can't do it.
Good. Thank you.
Oh, wow. You're grateful that I'm not even trying it.
I love you.
I love Orson Welles' voice, though. It's so unique and whatever, melodious. Anyway, it's one of his movies, and it's one of those film noir, like, crime, like Double Indemnity, like one of those films, right?
Which gives the flavor of the whole episode.
Right, and Pacey's like, so Dawson's like, how the fuck do I understand this movie? Trying to watch this movie because I have to, for my film class, I have to write an essay about film noir and stuff like that, and I don't understand any of this. And Pacey's like, of course you don't understand any of this. You're a child of Shakespeare or whatever. All his movies are like fucking hopeful and like the movies...
Shakespeare, you mean Spielberg?
Spielberg, whatever.
Holy
it's the same thing.
It is not. Oh my God. Okay.
All right, listen, Karen.
Excuse me?
Because, your face. Because I said Shakespeare instead of Spielberg, so I'm like making you feel like I have something wrong with my brain because I called you Karen instead of Carol. Get it?
Okay. Uh-huh.
Do you understand?
Do we need to take you to the hospial?
God, I don't know. When you're done with me, am I going to need to go to the hospital?
Maybe.
Anyway, Carol.
Yes, Mark.
A child of Fuck! A child of Spielberg.
Holy shit.
He's like, you're a child of Spielberg, and all his movies are hopeful, and like cinema is beautiful, and like look at the wonder of life and shit like that. He's like, these films are the opposite of that. They're all about, he's like, you might not understand that most of us would sell our soul for a little sex or whatever. Because it's like, how does Orson Welles fall for this girl? She's obviously evil.
Which is funny because, as this episode I think kind of points out, like Dawson fell for Eve, who is kind of evil. Kind of.
He's intrigued by her, but I don't know that he's like in love with her.
Well, yeah, I mean, he didn't fall for her for sure.
No, he doesn't treat her like he treated Joey or even Jen at the beginning, where he was he was obsessed with Jen.
Yeah,
which might be a genetic trait. We'll find out.
Weird.
Spoilers.
Weird.
But anyway, so like you said, it gives the flavor to the whole episode. Pacey leaves, and he notices like a light shining in Jen's house. I didn't even think about that.
What?
Well, we find out later. Because he calls the cops, and it turns out it's her, it's Eve.
Well, the cops don't find her. Deputy Doug shows up.
Right.
That's Pacey's brother.
Yeah.
But prior to that, Dawson goes over there?
No, Dawson, I think he calls the police, and then he does. He goes over there, and she jumps out the window and lands on him, and it's her. It's Eve. And he's like, what the fuck? What are you doing over there? She's like, I'm looking for something.
Yeah. Which is weird.
Think about that, though.
Yeah, well, I mean,
does she know?
I think
she claims she doesn't.
On the right track if she's looking for something there.
Right. But anyway, so she's like, go ahead, fucking tell them, and I'll bury you with the SATs or whatever.
Yeah, what's up with that?
I don't know. It's weird.
The whole SAT storyline just was stupid, and it bugs me.
So he talks to Doug, and he's like, no, I was mistaken. I didn't see anything or whatever. I'm an idiot. And Doug's like, okay, Dawson. And he leaves.
These cats. My God, do you hear them in the background now?
Yeah.
Screaming like cats. The fuck? Anyway.
So, yeah, I'm just going to try to ignore it.
If you
talk
hear
about the show.
If you hear it, we're sorry.
So anyway, he decides that he needs to find out who Eve is. Mm-hmm. She works at a strip club, but she also goes to school with him.
And she's a cat burglar.
Yeah, so he needs to find out who she is. So he goes to the strip club, and the guy that owns the strip club's like, look, she doesn't fucking work here or whatever. And he's like, what are you talking about? She was working here. She was tending bar or whatever, delivering us drinks. And he goes, what are you, 16? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, look, if she goes to school with you, that means she's 16, which means she can't work here. So she doesn't fucking work here.
Right. Which, was kind of our thought process the whole time anyway. What the fuck? Either she is too old to go to high school or too young to work in a strip club, but she pretended to do both of these things. Right. When in reality, place number 2, the high school, there is no student named Eve.
Yeah. Not one student named Eve in all of Cape Side. That's kind of weird.
She didn't do either of these things. But she was waiting tables at the strip club.
I think she was waiting tables at the strip club. I think the strip owner was like, listen, asshole, if I hired someone that was 16, that's illegal. So there's no way I'm telling you I hired her.
But she was never going to school. She just was stalking him, which makes sense because we never saw her in classes or anything. She would just grab him and pull him in closets and make out with him.
Yeah, exactly. And say, I've got to go to Professor Richard's class.
Yeah, it was weird. So, yeah, I always suspected that it was a front, the high school thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The entire high school?
No.
It's a front for selling drugs.
The high school student was a
you're talking
front,
about her front
for her. Yes.
Well, her front's nice too. Her back's side's probably nicer, I guess, on this particular woman.
You think? Interesting.
Do you think? Well, she doesn't have much. I mean, she doesn't have a lot going on up front, really.
I don't know. She's not my type.
She's not my type either.
So
she's not you.
Aw.
Anyway, so he decides he wants to tail her. So he talks to Deputy Doug, and he's like, "Hey, I'm making a movie." And the guy in the movie is looking for a mysterious girl that may have broken into his neighbor's house. And how would he find him? He's like, the laundromat.
Yep. Everybody's got to do their laundry.
Which makes sense.
Yeah. So Dawson and Pacey are sitting on a bench staking out the laundromat. Mm-hmm. What a fun afternoon for high schoolers. And they see her. Not at the laundromat.
No, because Pacey's like, oh, Doug gave you the laundromat speech, right? He's an idiot. But it does make sense.
Yeah.
No, they see her buying an ice cream. Because apparently everyone needs an ice cream.
That's also true. Everyone eats ice cream. Unless you're lactose intolerant.
Yeah.
Then maybe,
I don't know. Lactose-free ice cream.
A popsicle. But
sure.
So she goes, sauntering along, frolicking in her little sauntery walk.
Sure. She does seem particularly carefree.
She does. Like she always does, though. The way she moves, the way she talks. Like, she always seems like she, I don't know, just doesn't care.
Yeah.
And is very happy and kind of in a dream.
She's got a way about her. I don't know what it is.
Right. Okay. I remember they split up, but I don't remember why.
So they trail her to a boatyard.
But then they
or
lose.
the dock or whatever. And no, they see her get on a boat.
Okay.
And fucking Pacey's like, she leaves. She goes in, she changes, and then she leaves. And Pacey says, I'll keep my eye on her.
Go check out the boat.
You look at the boat, yeah. So Dawson goes into, we don't follow Pacey. Dawson goes into the boat. We learn later she loses Pacey somehow.
Mm-hmm. But in the boat, he finds a picture of...
Which he pockets, of a woman.
Yeah. And, well, it said something on the back, too.
I don't remember it saying anything on the back, but it's a picture of a woman.
Yeah. Which he takes, that's kind of fucked up.
And it's like the inside is like a fucking mess. Did you notice that? Mm-hmm. Like there's like chips laying around and just clothes strewn all over the place.
Yeah. Well, so we find out because the police come.
Well, Deputy Doug comes.
And they're like gonna get Dawson for trespassing on this boat.
It's like, Dawson, what the fuck are you doing here, Leary?
So the people who own the boat, I think, aren't like there, and that's why they know something's up, because they've seen that somebody's in the boat.
That's my guess. Like Doug says he's looking for someone who's squatting here. Mm-hmm. So he must have noticed that someone's coming and going on this boat. The owners of the boat are like 95 years old or whatever, and they don't live in Cape Side year round. They come to Cape Side in the summer when it's nice, and then they live, I don't know, in Florida or somewhere warmer during the winter. That's what he says, during the fall and winter, and it's fall now.
Yeah.
So both in real life and on the show. And so he's like, who the fuck's living there? He knows it's not Dawson, but he's like, who's living there? He's like, I don't know. I just saw. He's like, yeah, right. You give me this bullshit about this fucking book that I see right through, this movie that I see right through and everything. And then Pacey comes up and starts making homophobic slurs against him.
He's very mean to his brother.
And it throws him off of everything.
Yeah.
Because he's like, I fucking want answers. Like, it's like in a police interrogation scene where he's got like the hot light on Dawson. He's like, I want fucking answers, Dawson. And Pacey comes up and he's like, hey, you're gay. And he's like, I'm not gay. Gets all defensive and everything. And then he's like, well, I guess you guys can go. Like, he just lets them go with no answers.
Yeah. Yeah, that's bad.
It's really weird.
It's bad policing.
So then, I think, like, she's just in his window, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he's been looking for her all day, and then he gets to his room, and she's just there.
And he's like, you can't just come in my room.
Like every other girl in the town does.
No shit. She does.
Like, literally every girl crawls in his window.
Yeah, fucking Abby came in there once.
Yeah. Ooh, the dead girl.
Yeah.
Creepy.
Not when she was dead. What if she comes back as a zombie for the Halloween episode?
Oh my god! I hope they don't do something that dumb.
But anyway, so she's there, and he's like, "I want answers, Eve. What's going on?" And she's like, "Give me back my fucking picture."
How did she know he took it?
That's a very good question.
I mean, maybe she saw them, and that's why she lost Pacey.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
But it seems very bizarre that she knows he took her picture. And, like, I'm assuming, unless he did a bunch of shit that they just didn't show us, that he went home after this. So, how did she even have time to go back to the boat to know her picture was gone?
I don't know.
It's ridiculous.
So, it turns out, if we believe her, I don't know that we believe her or not, but if we believe her, her story's actually pretty fucking simple.
Yeah.
She found out that she's adopted, and she ran away from home to find her adopted mom. And the only clue that she has is the mom lives on the West Coast or the East Coast. And if she lives on the West Coast, she's far off the trail. No, she lives on the East Coast, and she has that picture, and that's all she knows about her. So she's been traveling the entirety of the East Coast. What a fucking, like, enormous area, and a hugely populated, probably the densest population of the entire country,
right,
is the northeast area of the country.
So I don't believe everything she's saying. I believe that she is looking for her mom, and that picture is of her mom.
Maybe.
But I think that when she's like, oh, this town's a dead end and I'm leaving, because she says that too.
Yeah.
I don't think that's true.
Well, obviously it's not true. So here's the thing. There's two other storylines that we need to talk about, but I guess we'll finish this storyline. So she tells him all that. I mean, there's some more color to it and everything, but that's the basic story. And as Carol said, she's like, this town's a dead end, so I'm leaving and everything. And, you and I were a nice fling for a while, whatever. I almost sucked your dick on a boat, whatever. And so she leaves. Dawson goes to, what's her name? Michelle Williams.
Jennifer.
Jennifer. She goes to, what are you, Grams? He goes to Jen's house.
Yeah.
And sees a picture in Grams's room of the woman that's in the Eve's fucking picture. Mm-hmm. It's her mom. And he goes, is that your daughter? And she's like, I only have one daughter, Dawson. And he's like, that's a fucking answer, Grams. She's like, yes, that's Jen's mom. And I do a better Grams than I do Orson Welles. And so then, that's where the episode ends, timeline-wise.
Yeah, so it's to be believed that Eve is Jen's half-sister.
Right.
Or maybe whole sister, but probably half would be my assumption.
My guess is that, although I suppose it's somewhat plausible that Jen's mom and dad could have had a child very young and both decided to give it up for adoption, but I think the more plausible explanation is that Jen's mom got knocked up before she met her current husband and had to give up, when she was very young probably, and had to give up the child for adoption.
And I'm sure Grams made her.
Yeah. You give up that child. But here's the thing that didn't occur to me until we started talking about it. She was in Jen's house at the beginning. Mm-hmm. So there's a couple possibilities. One, she stole that picture from Jen's house and is making up that that's her mom.
Oh, that didn't even occur to me.
Because, I mean, there could have just been a picture of Jen's mom, just randomly in the house.
Why would she do that, though?
I don't know. To throw him off the track because she's a murderer? Because she's hunting for Jason Voorhees? I don't know.
Okay.
Or she was in that house because she knows that that's her grandma.
I think that's what it is. I think she's figured it out.
Well, then why? Like, why isn't she saying anything? Why did she go into them and being like, hey, does she have some kind of ulterior motive?
Maybe.
Other than just to meet the mom?
I mean, she's obviously a giant liar.
Yeah.
And the mom's not there. The mom's in New York.
Correct.
So maybe she's going to go to the mom now.
I don't know, maybe. We'll see. But interesting. Interesting developments all around for that. So Dawson's figured it out.
Yeah. And then the other storyline, there's only, I think, 2.
There's 2.
And
one involves Jen and a would-be paramour. And the other involves Katie Holmes' character, Joey.
So let's talk about Joey.
All right, let's talk about Joey.
So Joey, is doing this job. What is this? Like a boat gas station?
Yeah, basically. She's like, and they repair boats too. Because
Okay.
the guy repaired Dawson's dad's boat.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like some sort of boat shop. They pump gas, they sell boat supplies, they repair boats, they wash boats. So she's working there because they're trying to make money to
live.
open the restaurant back up or something.
And to live.
Yeah.
Because her dad's in prison and her sister's husband is just gone.
He's dead.
Grady, I think his name was?
I have no idea. He was on like 3 episodes.
In the
they were
first
like,
season.
And they were like, you know what? We don't need him anymore.
So, and then her sister's all like, I'm sorry you have to work to support us right now. I'll start pulling my weight soon. That was like the beginning of this season.
Yeah, they said something like the insurance money is paying for the restaurant to reopen, but it's taking time to rebuild or whatever. So she's got to do this in the meantime, I guess. But apparently, we learned this in this episode. The fucking creep asshole pedophile that, or what do you call it?
I don't know.
When it's older than when it's okay, whatever.
He's creepy.
I'm just gonna say pedophile. The pedophile that runs this place.
Yeah, because looking at Katie Holmes' body does not make one a pedophile.
Is the son of a senator. No, but he's the son of a senator. Just in case.
He's an adult and she's a teenager.
Yeah, he's like 26 and she's 16. I mean, Katie Holmes isn't 16, but she's supposed to be 16.
Right.
And he's talking about, she mentioned something about how she's 16 or whatever, and he's like, oh, there's plenty of girls your age that would fucking give it up for me or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, he's trolling for younger women.
It's gross.
He's Matthew McConaughey's character, not the actor, from Dazed and Confused.
Okay.
I just keep getting older. They stay the same age.
So gross.
I can do every accent better than I can do Orson Welles. It's funny because I'm the best impressionist alive, probably. I love making enormous claims and watching her face. But the only impression I really want to be able to do is Orson Welles, and I can't do it.
I'm sorry.
Sorry. I can even do this one. I'm Franklin Pierce, 14th President of the United States. He sounded just like that.
Okay.
Anyway, go ahead.
So he invites Joey out, and she's turns him down.
I'm not going to date you. I'm Joey Potter.
And he gets another teenage date.
Yeah, he's like, it's okay. I found someone your age that's hotter, that's more willing to fuck.
Basically. And out of the boat pops, what the fuck's her name?
The blonde one. Andy.
Pacey's, Andy.
Pacey's Andy.
And Joey's like, oh my
Pacey's
God,
ex-Andy.
what are you doing with him? You don't want to go out with him? And she's like, yes, I do.
Well, she doesn't say all that right away. That in front of the guy anyway. But later, she says something to her.
She tells her he's not a good person or something like that. And she's like, he's a senator's kid, and I want to go out with him.
We met at the country club or whatever.
Yeah. So
They're going out to a movie date.
because it's too hot to do anything else. Every actor in this episode has just been sprayed with water before they come on screen.
Yeah, no kidding.
Because they're all sweating the whole time.
And they've all been told ad-lib some dialogue about how hot it is. Because there's nothing else that indicates it's supposed to be hot.
Yeah, because it's the Indian summer.
But so Joey shows up to the movie theater where Andy is and pulls Andy aside and is like, look, this guy's been fucking perving on me all summer. He walked in on me changing. He's an asshole. He just wants to have sex with you. Like, fuck this guy. I mean, like, not literally.
Don't fuck this guy.
I'm trying to tell you the opposite. But this guy's an asshole or whatever. And Andy's like, look, Joey, not all of us are uptight like you are. Some of us get fucked in mental institutions, and and you know that means that we are sexually promiscuous now, and we cheat on tests. Not that I cheated on a test,
Right. So instead of just like accepting that she's fine with dating a creep,
which she should have. Like, I get it. I get going there. I get warning her. Fine. I mean, to me, it's maybe a smidge over the line, but only a smidge. Mm-hmm. I get it. You think he's an asshole. You want to warn up Andy because you guys are somewhat friends. But then after that, you're done. You did your part.
But instead, she gets snacks, buys a ticket, and goes and sits on the other side of Andy.
Right next to them.
Yeah. So it's the perv, Andy, Joey. And he's her boss. Like, what world does she think this is going to go well for her?
Right. Is that the configuration? I thought it was Joey, perv, Andy.
No.
I thought perv and Andy were sitting next to each other.
They were.
Then it would have been Joey, perv, Andy.
No.
He was in the middle of the two.
No. Andy was in the middle of the two.
Oh. Okay, maybe, yes.
It doesn't matter.
So Joey, Andy, perv.
Yes. Joey's not sitting next to the perv. She's sitting next to Andy.
Okay.
Either way, she crashes their date, and they're both telling her to, like, go away, and she, like, won't. It's ridiculous. And then we find out later, which we didn't know this at the time, she was supposed to be on the clock still.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you doing, lady?
I mean, I think this guy's an asshole, but, like, he also kind of has a point.
Oh, he's 100% in his right to do what he does.
Because the next day, he comes, like, you know, Joey's at work or whatever, and he comes in and he's like, hey, Andy's there too, by the way. He's like, hey, thanks for ruining the date last night. Movie started at 6. Aren't we open till 8? And she's like, yeah. And he's like, so who was at the store? Or, you know, whatever. And she's like, oh, well, it closed early. He's like, so you closed early without permission to come and ruin my date. You're fired.
Yeah. Like, no matter what her reason was, she probably should have been fired, so.
Without permission.
Yeah.
She closes the place early. She goes, we're never busy on Saturday at, like, from 6 to 8. And he's like,
doesn't matter.
What the fuck's that mean?
Yeah. Yeah, so she loses that job that she desperately needed.
Yeah.
Idiot.
Now she's going to have to suck his cock to get the job back.
God. He probably would give it back to her, too.
Oh, 100% he would.
But he'd probably expect one at least a week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not worth it, Joey.
No, this guy's an asshole. Just one, maybe, that'd be worth it, but not once a week.
Right. So, other
Just a tip for all you ladies out there. Have standards.
Other storyline. This is a woman with standards.
Yeah, I guess so.
I guess, yeah.
To me, I think she freaks out a little bit too
Oh,
much.
I think she's being way crazy. But we know how the freshman quarterback has this huge crush on Jen. Mm-hmm. What the fuck is his name?
I don't know. Earl?
No, it's definitely not Earl.
It's something weird. Warren or something like that.
I don't know.
It doesn't matter.
It'll come to me.
You know who he is.
But, like, Jen's eating an ice cream and walks up to to Jack and this kid.
Speaking of ice, yeah, like everyone needs an ice cream.
Every pretty girl's eating ice cream in this episode, except for Katie Holmes.
There's an episode of the Gong Show. You remember the Gong Show?
No.
It was a show it was like a talent show basically. Everyone would come in with like a talent. They'd tell jokes, or they'd sing or juggle or whatever fucking stupid
Henry.
shit. Okay. And it was I'm glad I could help you out.
I knew it would come to me.
It was hosted by Chuck Barris. And so like it was a stupid show. And if like you got the gong, that meant fuck off. Get off the stage, right? At one time, these two girls, probably 16, 17, young girls in knee-high socks, come out with 2 popsicles. And right away, there's like 3 perverts in the crowd that are like, woo, because they know what's going to happen or whatever. And they sit down, crisscross applesauce style, and suck on popsicles. and that is their talent. And that's it. It was
Wow.
like 2 minutes of them sucking on popsicles, and then that's it.
Wow.
Yep.
And they didn't get the gong.
Nope. Chuck Barris let it go, I guess.
That's awful.
Yeah.
So yeah, Jen is eating her ice cream, and Henry is just drooling and again can't speak.
Yeah, he's like, hey.
He reminds me of that kid from South Park
Kenny.
that throws
he
up.
mentions that.
Oh, that's why he reminded me of it.
He literally reminded you
He did.
that exists. No, yeah, he, not Kenny, Stan.
Stan, yeah.
Stan and, what's her name? Wendy. Mm-hmm. But yeah, he says, like, oh, I would probably throw up on her, like Stan from South Park.
Yeah, because Jack's like, you got to talk to her. You got to ask her out. Because Henry's just, as soon as she goes, he's like, oh my God, I'm so in love with her. I'm going to die.
Mm-hmm.
I need her. And he's like, well, talking to her is step one. Asking her
Right.
out. You know, you'll never know unless you ask.
And he's like, I could never do it. And he's like, well, maybe. He starts twiddling his mustache and stuff like that. He's like, maybe if you were in the same place at the same time.
So he has Henry go set up like a moonlit picnic.
Yeah, so this is sort of weird to me. The like I think the second scene of the show is Jack and Jen underneath the stars at this place where they're looking at the stars and everything. And he's talking about like, hey, don't you think like it would be cool if you had a boy here or whatever, you know? And she's like, I've got a boy. And he's like, no, one that like whose penis gets hard when he thinks of you. And she's like, you're the perfect guy. I'm not looking for a guy right now and everything. Like, you know, there's no sexual tension or whatever. And like, it really like she is using him very much for like boyfriend stuff except for sex.
Yeah.
Like all the other stuff, the
emotional
stuff. Like, you know, the comfort, the, you know, not to be lonely kind of stuff. Because the stuff she's talking about and doing is more than just friendship.
Yeah. They're like Will and Grace.
Exactly.
They even live together.
Yeah.
And there was that one episode when Grams is like, when did you two become married or something? Like, because they're in that routine in the kitchen. And
Yeah, I don't watch the show, so I don't know.
no, I'm talking about this show. Grams
Oh, yeah.
says to Jack and Jen in one of the episodes,
Yes,
when did you
that's-
two become an old married couple or whatever?
That's true. I think it's the beginning of this episode, maybe. But anyway, so yeah, they're like, it's very much like that. And so that's the place that he says for Henry to set up. So he sets up the thing and everything, and Jen shows up.
Thinking she's going to meet Jack.
Yeah, she's like, oh, Jack invited me too. And she's like, okay, where's Jack? And he goes, oh, he couldn't come. So I guess it's just you and me.
And she flips out. She is so mad.
Yeah, she's really angry at Henry. Unfairly, I think. Because she's like, look, a fucking date is a consensual thing where you ask me out, you piece of shit. And she really, like, she makes him feel terrible.
Yeah, she's like, you forgot the part where you ask me. Mm-hmm. So, like, Jack set this up.
And storms off. Like, I really think she is, whether she wants to date him or not, whatever. She's, obviously, she has her own agency. She can date whomever she wants and not date whomever she doesn't want to date. But, I don't, like, this guy has been nothing but nice. There's no reason to be this rude.
Yeah.
You could just say, listen, sweet idea or whatever. I'm going to save you the time. I'm not interested. I'm not interested in dating anyone right now. And, you know, like, I'm just not interested in dating you. I'm sorry. Like,
yeah,
we can be friends. That's great. Or what if she wants to be or whatever. But, like, you know, be nice to him. Like, she just goes off on him for no reason. Like, he's the first person to ever fucking, like, set up a situation where maybe the two people could, like, happenstance be together. Mm-hmm. No one's ever fucking been in high school where, like, someone comes up to him and been like, hey, if so-and-so were to ask you out, would you say yes? I mean, like, we've all been in that fucking situation.
Right.
You know, like, people are afraid of getting hurt and shit like that. And she just goes off on him. I like Jen in general, but this was bullshit. And then she gets home and goes off on Jack, which I guess is more appropriate because Jack did set it up. But the stuff she says is really over the line because she's like, "Oh, you're fucking playing pimp for me" and stuff like that, and everything. And he's like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, I mean, she acts like a psycho, and I don't understand. Like, she almost acts like it's like rape, like this is something that's happening, violation against her will.
Right, she could easily have said no and did.
Yeah.
Like, once she showed up and knew it was just him, she doesn't have to do the dates.
Which she did not.
Right, but she could have just said, no, thank you.
Yeah, she's being mean. I don't like it. I wonder what it's triggering in her, though. Like, this is an obvious issue.
I don't know. But then she says, and I think maybe this is the whole point of it, after she gets the yelling out, she goes, "Jack, this is more about you than it's about me."
What?
What do you mean, what?
It's so stupid of her to say. That's all.
Well, she says, "I think you're the one that wants the boyfriend. You're the one that wants more or whatever. Because I don't, and he's like, and then he kind of breaks down a little bit and he's like, I like, fucking, it's not New York City where there's a gay guy in every corner or whatever. He's like, it's Cape Side, gay population me. Like, which I don't know if that's true or not, but I mean,
that would feel lonely.
I get what he's saying. Like, he doesn't have a lot of options around town. I
get what he's saying.
So that's kind of where they go to as far as that storyline. Like, he's now it's more turned on him. I don't know what's going to happen with Henry, if he's just going to fuck off or whatever.
I would. Shit. He's a quarterback. He can get a girl. He doesn't need her.
Well, he is a freshman that actually looks like a high school student.
Yeah,
he doesn't look like a 25-year-old adult like the rest of them do.
He looks like a 16-year-old, so, it makes sense that the 22-year-old doesn't want him.
Right. But anyway, but that is the episode, Carol.
It is.
Why don't you tell people where they can find their own stargazing partner?
You can write us at latefee1994@AOL.com.
Yeah, maybe we'll watch the stars with you.
Check out our website at www.retrolatefee.com and share the tapes with your friends.
And our friends, too. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.